Everybody, and welcome to another night of live Penguin TV. The penguins tonight have snuck up on us. They have decided to cross the beach a little bit earlier than what they have in previous nights. We thought that it might just be a little bit light enough for them to come in at a similar time on previous nights. But these beautiful little wild birds, they never fail to trick us, and they have just appeared at the water's edge, and they are getting ready to make their dangerous dash across the beach back to their burrows on land here on Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia. Oh, I lie, they are racing back into the water because something has obviously scared them. My name is Jordan. I'm going to be your host tonight, and I must apologize. We do have a little bit of sea mist going on at the moment, so we are going to have to get our ranger who is hanging out on the Penguins Plus stand, Ranger Deb, to every now and then give our camera a little bit of a clean, just because, we're out in the wild, rugged Bass Strait here on Phillip Island, and we can't control the sea mist, so you're going to have to bear with us in this kind of foggy little camera, but this is what it's like to work with wildlife, with penguins, and out in the beautiful blue ocean, or just on the surface of it. Now, tonight we are going to be running through everything to do with the little penguin, the smallest of the 18 species of penguins in the world. So I hope you are ready for a fun, hopefully not super blurry night, but this stream will be running for it's meant to run for about 30 minutes, but if you've ever watched live Penguin TV with myself before, you'll know that there will probably be a Jordan 5 minutes, which will turn into an extra 10 or 15 minutes for sure by the end of this live stream. Now tonight I'm also joined by the lovely Rach. Rach, come on in, say hello, and let us know what you're going to be doing tonight.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Hi everyone, my name is Rachel, and I will be monitoring your questions through Facebook and YouTube. So please pop them in, and I'll pass the questions back to Jordan. And if you are wondering what time the penguins came home yesterday, they came home at 6:51. So tonight they seems to be a little earlier, hopefully. And if you want to put your guesses onto the comment section, we'll give you a few minutes before I announce the numbers from yesterday. Thank you,
Beautiful.
Jordan.
Thank you, Rach. So every single night here at the Penguin Parade, we are actually counting the number of penguins crossing the beach. So this is a nightly count which has been done nearly every single night since 1968. It's the longest running penguin survey in the world, and it gives us a lot of really good data of when and how many penguins are crossing the beach and coming back home to Phillip Island over the years. So it's a really, really large, really long-term data set which can tell us lots and lots about these beautiful little penguins, and I might be able to get into that a little bit later. At the moment, all we can see is that just kind of little blurry white blob, which is their beautiful little white bellies. It's hanging out on the set. Oh my goodness, this sea mist. Again, we might have to ask if Deb is okay to give us another bit of a wipe, because it is a little bit tricky to see tonight. Sorry everybody. So get your guesses in for how many penguins you think crossed the beach last night. We would love to give the person who guesses the closest number, we'd love to give you a little bit of a shout out. So get your guesses in now, and same like Rachel said a little bit earlier, let us know any penguin or any Phillip Island questions that you might have. We would absolutely love to try and answer a few of those questions live on the air. Now, I've been watching all of your questions and comments coming through in the comments thread on Facebook and YouTube. Please don't be offended if we don't get to your questions tonight. We get so many questions coming through that I would be here until the next live stream was airing on Saturday, probably answering all of your questions. So if you're desperate to have one of your questions answered tonight and we don't get to it, yes, thank you, Deb. Hey, there we go. There's our little feathery friends. If we don't get to it tonight, keep tuning in, keep asking those questions, and we will do our best to answer you as soon as we can. But we're not ignoring you. We love all of your enthusiasm and all of your questions. So here we go again, the smallest of the 18 species of penguins in the world, Eudiptila minor, the little penguins. They are getting ready to make their big scary journey home. Now, because these are the smallest, thanks again, Deb. Because these are the smallest of the 18 species, they're only about 33 centimeters or 1 foot tall. So these are all fully grown penguins here that we are watching at the water's edge. And looks like we've got another little raft coming up. They're going to form a bit of a mega, yes, hello everybody. I'll have to maybe even zoom out a touch. That's a lot of good penguins, and I don't believe they've made a start just yet, but there's safety in numbers when the penguins are getting ready to cross the beach at night. It is the scariest time of their day. They've got beautiful blue feathers on their back which help them camouflage against the surface of the water, but it's now when we get to see them crossing the beach. They are making a waddle for it. Look at them go. This is when there might potentially still be some predatory birds. Looks like there's a little bit of confusion. Some are running back, some are running forward, some are running right. What are you guys doing? Oh no, looks like the bulk of them have committed to continue on along the beach, and they're going to hit these resting rocks where they know they're going to be a little bit safer. Because there's one little one that's hanging out all by its lonesome out on the beach. Look at you. When they're out on the beach, on the sand, they're quite exposed. But you can see when they get to land, they start to blend in a little bit more with those rocks. And if there is a scary predator around the place, then they can duck into a burrow under some vegetation and be nice and safe. So now that they have done their dangerous dash across the beach, looks like there's one heading back. Bye, little dude. I'm not sure what you're doing. Would also love to have your guesses in the comments as to how many penguins you thought were in this first waddle. So a group of penguins on land is called a waddle of penguins, and I think you can probably guess why. Technically, it's called a group, but here we like to call them a waddle because we think it is much more descriptive and much cuter. So I might give Rach a couple of minutes just to have a look through all of your comments to see who guessed the closest number in that first group, but I reckon very shortly we're going to have some little feathered friends appearing on the top camera just above me here on what we call the Penguin Highway. And as you can see, we do have a few people down on the Penguins Plus viewing platform, which is wonderful. In regional Victoria, we can have there's a mum's or a grandma, I think, is getting her children or grandchildren back. So that's wonderful to see, because here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, we are a non-for-profit conservation organisation, which means we get our profits to protect penguins, to do conservation education and research through people coming and visiting us. So people who, like tonight, are sitting on the Penguins Plus stand. So it's lovely that we can actually, starting to get a bit sea misty again. It's wonderful that we can have some people back here again and visiting us. Here we go. Here are our feathered friends who are racing on up the Penguin Highway. Off they go. They're at top speed. Oh my goodness, they're bowling each other over. My goodness, look, slow down everybody. I know, look at all that poo. I know we call this the Penguin Highway, and this is probably the penguins' top speed odometer over here. If they were going to get pulled over by the police, this is where they would be doing their top speed over here. But the Penguin Highway is the most popular penguin route or pathway to get back home. Just like us, penguins know exactly where they live. They've got their own burrow or their own artificial nest box. So they are heading up the highway. They know where their exit is. They know to left at the tree, right at the rock, over the hill, and all that good stuff. So this is the first early bird group of penguins, or waddle of penguins, and some of them, as you can see, are kind of hanging out underneath the boardwalk as well. Now, it looks like we've got a few more penguins getting ready to gather back at the main beach. And that dastardly sea mist it's a fairly sizable group as well, if you can see through the blur. But yes, Rach, how about we have some recognition for some really close guesses, and then you can put us out of our misery and tell us how many were in that last waddle and how many penguins crossed the beach in total last night.
Thank you. We have Melissa Fisher, who guessed 149 in the last raft.
Mm-hmm.
The actual number was 146 from Tom.
Oh,
so
wow.
she's only 3 off.
Was Melissa?
Yes.
Well done, Melissa. I think we're going to have to get you here at the Penguin Parade learning to count penguins like a pro. I hope that sounds like a good idea to you. Now, Rach, would you also let us know how many penguins crossed the beach last night, and maybe even the night before if you're watching Monday night's live stream as well?
Yeah, well done. On Monday, we had 580 penguins came home at 6:57.
Beautiful. PM. So 580 at 6:50 p.m.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yep.
Very good.
And yesterday we've got 643 penguins came home at 6:51.
Oh, so fairly similar numbers last night and the night before. So we do usually get different numbers of penguins crossing the beach every single day because these are seabirds. They spend about 80% of their lives in the big blue ocean. The ocean is their supermarket, it's their playground. So when they come on land, they're effectively dieting, or they're on a fast. So they only come home if they've got things to do or places to be. Now, it's a very exciting time for a penguin to come home at the moment, and it's also a very exciting time for our guests to come and visit us here at the Penguin Parade, because we are kind of right in the kind of start peak of the breeding season. We do have quite a few nests on eggs in our study site. I've been told that there was over 40 nests with eggs in our study site, so that's up to 80 little penguin chicks which may hatch very, very shortly, which is super exciting. So we'll definitely be keeping you updated on those numbers and anything like that going on in the colony. But yes, we're due to have some little chickadees hatch very, very shortly, and we cannot wait. Chick season, it's simultaneously the cutest and the smelliest time of year to be at the Penguin Parade, just purely because of all the poo. And we all know how much I love talking about poo. Alrighty, so it looks like we've got a few penguins getting ready to head on up the hill. I thought there might be a few penguins getting ready to head up the hill with them, but these two look like they are just on a mission. I've just spotted another couple that are kind of joining, coming out of the grass, but I might now flick over to the Penguin Highway before I get too distracted, and we'll watch these beautiful little white bellies making their way across the beach. Now, one of the things that I encourage you guys to do throughout the live stream is to send in a few of your curliest or most interesting penguin questions. So, Rach, I reckon in a second we might go for a little bit of a penguin question.
Yep.
Although I think we just heard a radio call. Do we have a number of penguins who are in that next group?
We do. We have numbers for second raft and third raft.
Oh, the second and the third raft.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Second raft was 41.
41 penguins in the second raft.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the third raft was 113.
Oh my goodness, we missed them. We were too busy following those two little penguins on up the hill. Let me flick over back to our main camera. These little guys snuck up on us just like the first raft or first group of penguins out in the water snuck up on us when we were getting ready to start our live stream as well. Alrighty, Rach, how about we go to a question from our audience, and try not to make it too difficult for me.
Yeah. Before we ask the questions, we'd like to say happy birthday to Karen Hollis, one of our volunteers.
Oh, happy birthday! A hucky birthday to you, Karen. I hope you are having oh my gosh, any penguin pun is just totally going out of my mind. Rachel, actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I was going to set Rach a task, but I would like to set all of you Waddle Watchers a task out there. I would like you to come up with some penguin pun-related jokes or celebratory, what am I trying to say? Words for Karen and her birthday, and we might get Rach to keep an eye out for some of the best ones out there. So I'm setting you guys a little bit of a challenge so that we can all celebrate Karen and her birthday together. Ooh, now I've just spotted something a little interesting on the highway, and I'm not focusing on this penguin over here because she has a very, very dirty belly, although it looks like she's about to get bowled over by some other penguins. You're going the wrong way. Oh, smack, on the highway. This over here is a very special female penguin. This is what we call a shell gritter. So it's a female penguin, and she actually has eggs developing inside her. Oh, and she's having a little bit of a look at the ground. Oop! Looking for any little bits of stone or seashells that she can nibble to make her eggshell nice and strong. So she is on a mission to the ocean or to the beach to look for some little bits of broken seashell to kind of satisfy. Oh, look at her go. Just trying to dodge all of the oncoming traffic. Oh no, where are you going? Are you a little bit nervous? I'm sure those penguins coming up the highway will be fine. You keep going down and look for your shell grit. Yes. So you can see that she's not lost or confused. Sometimes penguins do get a little bit turned around and a little bit nervous, and they do kind of sometimes go the other way. But we can see that this penguin over here is making a beeline for the beach. So as I said, she is getting ready in the next couple of days to lay a couple of eggs. So she's heading down to the beach to get her nightly dose of calcium. Now, not every single female penguin with eggs. Oh, she's having a look at the people inside there. So we do have a viewing platform inside or underneath the Penguins Plus platform called the underground viewing, where you get to see the penguins right up close and personal. So she will probably be able to see her as we flick over to the main camera as well. So we'll jump back over it. Oh no, that sea mist is back again. Hopefully, maybe in the next couple of minutes, Rach, we might ask if Deb's not too busy, if she can give the camera a little bit more of a little bit more of a clean, because yeah, as I said, it's a little bit tricky. We can't stop that incoming sea mist. Now, we normally like to, there's even more, oh my gosh, the penguins are not stopping tonight. I reckon we might even be able to beat last night's numbers, which is fantastic. Now, the penguins did, as I mentioned, surprise us a little bit early tonight, and there's usually a few things that we like to do prior to penguin arrival, which didn't really get a chance to do tonight. I'm very, very sorry, just because it all started when the penguins were making their way home. One of the things that we like to do at the start of our talks, tours, live streams and meetings here on Phillip Island is acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. So of course we are here on Phillip Island, which is home of the, here we go, oh, that's so much better, thank you Deb. Home, traditional lands of the Bunurong people, who are the Aboriginal people of the Bass Coast and kind of all the way up to the southern side of Melbourne as well. And our records show that the Bunurong have been coming over to Milau, their name for Phillip Island, for many, many thousands of years, coming over seasonally for the short-tailed shearwater season, who are back now, which is really, really exciting. Migratory seabirds that come all the way from the Aleutian Islands off the coast of Alaska. They have officially made it back to Malau, back to Phillip Island. And the shearwaters were, there's I think 1.4 million of them that we have here on Phillip Island, here on Malau. And as I mentioned, the Bunurong would come, oh, thank you Deb, she's doing a very good job at cleaning our camera. They would come over and harvest the short-tailed shearwaters in a very sustainable manner, and they wouldn't kind of try to obliterate the colony. They would only take what they needed. It was a rich kind of source of protein and fats for the Bunurong. And yeah, we have one of the largest colonies of short-tailed shearwaters here on Phillip Island. So we're very, very lucky that the shearwaters can call Milau home. So we'd just like to acknowledge the way in which the Bunurong have cared for this country, the land, the seas, the ocean, the rivers for many, many thousands of years, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And yeah, we want to acknowledge the land on which we are living, working and playing as well. So I would love to hear in the comments if you know who the traditional custodians are of the land that you're watching from, or maybe the land that you were born on, because it's really important that we do acknowledge and respect the traditional custodians, the First Nations people on the land on which we live, work and learn as well. So yes, thank you for reminding me of doing my acknowledgement, Rach. As I mentioned, I like to try and do it nice and early right at the start. But yeah, the penguins came a little bit early and threw off my order. And now, oh my gosh, the sea mist is back again. Oh, we just can't win tonight. I'm so sorry, everybody. I wonder how clear it's going to be if we zoom in nice. Oh, that actually isn't too bad. Maybe I'm going to just have to really zoom in on our penguins tonight because it seems to make the sea mist. Oh, where are you off to? Not quite as strong. So it looks like we've got maybe 4 or 5 penguins there. Oh, and a few more on the highway. Maybe let's have a flick to the highway and we can follow these guys up. Maybe while we have another question from our audience, Rach. How do we feel about that?
We've got Jane McFarlane asking, do all penguins' chick have egg tooth? That they use to chip their way out of an egg.
Oh, good question, Jen. So for those of you, some of you might be thinking an egg tooth. What on earth is she talking about? So because we do have quite a few eggs here in the colony, let's talk about penguin eggs. How does that sound? So little penguin chicks, when they are inside their eggs, of course, they have to be able to break out. So there's kind of like a little kind of addition to their teeny tiny little beak. Oh, look at these guys racing on up the highway. Oh, and I'm going to flick over to our main camera because it looks like we've got a few more friends who have decided to cross the beach, and we can zoom in nice and close on them. So yeah, chickies, when they are inside the egg, have a little egg tooth which kind of aids them. It assists them in getting out of that egg, because I'm assuming a lot of you probably haven't handled a penguin egg, but it kind of feels a little bit similar to a chicken egg. So it's kind of the same size, same color if it's a white chicken egg. But yes, they do. All little chicks have a little egg tooth, which is kind of like an extra little bit on the end of their beak, which helps them break out through and into the big wide world. So thank you for that question, Jan. Oh, and I almost forgot, because it is Karen's birthday. We've been getting many good birthday puns or jokes or anything along those lines, Rach?
No, just a lot of wishes. We've got a lot of wishes for Karen. It's so lovely.
That's
cute. Karen's been loving it.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, again, I hope you're having a very hucky birthday, Karen. And I believe it's Karen Hollis, right?
Yes.
Yes, Karen is one of our beloved volunteers here at the Penguin Parade at Phillip Island Nature Parks. So that's actually a really cool thing that you can do with us here on Phillip Island. You can volunteer in lots and lots of different programs. You can be a penguin counter if you want to increase your skills as a penguin counter and chat to our wonderful and lovely visitors here at the Penguin Parade, and then count penguins a little bit later on. You can help assist with our Eastern Barred Bandicoot monitoring program. I know a lot of our rangers love volunteering their time to do that as well. Oh, I'm going to flick over to the highway again because we've got some more friends coming up. We've also got our hooded plover monitoring program. You can be involved in citizen science with our seal spotter project, which is also a lot of fun. You can do beach cleanups. There is a whole range of different volunteering opportunities that, if you love nature and want to kind of find ways to either build up some of your skills for the workforce, or if you just really want to kind of give back to the community and to the environment, you can volunteer with us here at Phillip Island Nature Parks. Now, of course, at the moment we can only have people from regional Victoria, so if that applies to you, we would love to have you. And anyone who's living in Metro Melbourne or interstate or overseas, hopefully when it is safe to do so, we will be able to have you back as soon as possible. But yeah, big shout out and a big happy birthday to Karen, one of our wonderful and very hardworking, passionate volunteers. So I hope you're having a very happy day. Now, one of the things Rach, I don't know if I've actually mentioned what hucky means or huck means. So if this is your first time watching live Penguin TV and you're looking at the comments in Facebook and YouTube, you've probably seen a lot of people saying huck, H-U-C-K or H-U-K, and thinking, oh my goodness, what have I stumbled onto here? Because penguins, when they are out in the water and they are getting ready to make their way home, they have to call out to each other in the water so that they can form a nice big raft or a group of penguins out in the ocean so that they can hit the water's edge and start making their journey home together again, because there's safety in numbers. So they make a little bit of a location call out, which is called a huck. And Rach, you're going to have to help me out here. It sounds a little bit like this. Is it dark? Is it safe? Can we cross the beach yet? Can we go? What do we think? So these are all the little kind of conversations these little penguins are having out in the ocean, kind of organizing themselves and getting ready to head on home for the evening. So that's why we were just saying Hucky birthday, and you've probably seen a lot of other people saying huck huck on the live stream tonight. Alrighty, so we are now back to our main beach, and I have one very blurry penguin in the sea mist hiding behind this bushes. I wonder if it's a little bit camera shy. And Rach, I'm pretending that I'm ignoring your 5-minute warning. So it is now 7:05. So everybody keep note. I'm meant to be finishing in 5 minutes time. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you all that right now. I feel like I've only just started talking. So sorry for everybody waiting at home for the live stream to finish. You might be here a little bit longer than 5 more minutes. Now I'm going to try and maybe brave a look out to the beach to see if we can see anybody. Oh, it looks like there's a slightly kind of small wattle, or maybe 2 wattles. I can see kind of 2 little groups. Let's see if I can zoom right in on them and see if that fixes. Oh, they're joining together. Can you see that? Oh, are they running away? Or are you joining each other? Looks like the group on the left was kind of running away from the group that was racing towards them. I wonder what is going on there. Ah, damn that sea mist. I'm sorry, everybody. See if you can see. I can reckon I've got like 1, 2, 3, 6 penguins. Oh, it's so difficult to tell. I hope Tom isn't having too much of a hard time counting penguins. I'm not actually sure if we said Tom was counting penguins tonight, but he is one of our very experienced rangers here at the Penguin Parade. So he will be giving us a very accurate count for sure. And to drag out my 5 minutes, I've already been talking for 2 minutes since we talked about 5 minutes. Let's go for another question and see if we can drag it out a little bit longer, Rach. How does that sound? Good.
We've got Alice wondering how far can penguins swim before they get a little too tired?
Oh, Alice, was it?
Yes.
Good question, Alice. How far can penguins swim before they get a little bit tired? And you know what? That's probably not a question that I can answer with the utmost certainty. Oh, they're disappearing behind that little sand dune. Where are they? I think they're going to appear just over here. Hold on, let me get a chance. I think I know exactly where they're going to pop out. Let's just be nice and patient and wait for them to arrive and appear. So penguins can swim up to about 100 kilometers in a single day, which is a long way for a tiny little bird that's only about 1 foot tall. Come on, penguins, where are you? Maybe they're having a little bit of a break. Oh no, there you are at the bottom of the sand dune. Welcome home, friends. So yeah, they can actually travel up to about 100 kilometers a day, which is a very, very long way for a little penguin. But that 100 kilometers encompasses how far away from the colony that they are swimming, but it also accounts for how deep they dive, how many meters they dive in the ocean looking for their food. So if they're doing lots and lots of dives throughout the day and lots of really deep dives, of course they can't travel quite as far, just because they'll probably get a little bit tired themselves, and also just because they're spending too much time diving and there's less time to travel a little bit further away. So sometimes these little penguins will decide to only kind of, travel a couple of kilometers away, because that's where the fish is, the pilchards, the anchovies, the squid, the jellyfish, anything about this big that they can fit in their beak and swallow whole. But sometimes they might have to travel a little bit further away, maybe down towards the Wonthaggi desalination plant, towards Wilson's Prom, and sometimes they might head right out into the Bass Strait, where they might encounter some scary predators like long-nosed fur seals and leopard seals when they're heading kind of nearly all the way down to Tasmania. And the furthest we have ever recorded a penguin from this colony traveling was at the Victorian South Australian border. So that penguin would have been out in the ocean for quite some time. Oh, just found someone hanging out over here behind this little kangaroo apple. Let's have a little bit of a look at you, because it doesn't look like we have a whole lot of seeing this kind of on this side of the camera. It must be a little bit more sheltered on this side. So I wonder if this little penguin has a little bit of a home nearby, or if maybe you're scouting out for a new burrow, or maybe you're visiting maybe a secret boyfriend or girlfriend. I think, did that penguin just poo? It was a little bit too grainy and jumpy for me to see. No, I think I might have been seeing what I wanted, thinking about seeing what I wanted to see. I think oh, look, I've talked for 5 minutes already. Let's go for another question, Rach, and drag out our 5 minutes even more.
We've got Brandon Fairbanks.
Brandon Fairbanks?
Fairbanks.
Lovely.
Yeah. How do penguins feed their young?
How do penguins feed their young? Brandon, you're not going to like this this answer because it's a little bit gross. They actually regurgitate it to their young. So they will kind of, where are all the penguins? Oh, I'm going to flick to the highway because it looks like we have another shell gritter on the way down. Oh, so many things to look at and talk about. Isn't this wonderful? Hashtag Jordan 5 minutes. So penguins can actually alter the pH of their stomach to keep the contents of their stomach nice and fresh. So we used to think that penguins, when penguin parents regurgitated food to their chicks, it was kind of like a partially digested fishy soup. But penguins can actually raise the pH of their stomach. So stomachs are usually quite acidic, which break things down really well. Whereas if penguins can kind of raise the acidity of their stomach, raise the pH, reduce the acidity is what I'm trying to say. Then they can kind of neutralize, oh, you're looking right at us, aren't you? Look at your beautiful blue feathers, mama to be. So they can kind of stop the kind of breaking down process so that when they do return back to their nests, they can give their beautiful little chickies fresh fish or fresh seafood, whatever it is that they've found out in the ocean during the day or for the couple of days. So that's a really, really cool thing. But when you are around and there's a lot of regurgitating going on because parents are coming home to feed their chicks, the smell that you can smell during this time, it's not because of the penguin vomit, it's because of all the chicks pooping out all of the stuff that they've been feeding their wonderful little chicks. And speaking of poo, look at this beautiful display along the Penguin Highway. If you are lucky enough to watch a penguin poo, you have just witnessed a Guinness World Record because penguins poo at the highest velocity of any animal in the world. All right, so I've been talking for 7 minutes now.
Maybe one last question.
Last one. I was getting ready to wrap up, Rach. She's giving me another one. Okay, let's go for it. You're enabling me.
We've got 7-year-old Jaden asking, was wondering if there's any foxes around penguins' home.
Jaden, really, really cool question. And the short answer is no, there is not. Yes, which is insanely exciting because foxes unfortunately are not very good for our little penguins here on Phillip Island or Australia-wide, and they're not very good for a lot of our native species here on Phillip Island and and in Australia-wide. Unfortunately, they're too good at hunters, and they can they can make different smaller species become extinct from an area just because they are so good at hunting. So unfortunately, at one time there was actually quite a few foxes here on Phillip Island. I think the number was something like 1,000 foxes. But luckily, the final one was removed from Phillip Island, from Malau, back in 2015. And 2 years later, we were declared 100% fox-free, which is fantastic news for our little penguins, and it helped with our efforts to help bring back the eastern bar bandicoot from the brink of extinction, and it's also helped a lot of our other kind of smaller native animals here on Phillip Island to bounce back, just because foxes are such fearsome vicious predators as well. So no more foxes, thankfully, here on Phillip Island. Oh, and it looks like, yes, I thought we weren't going to get many more penguins coming in, but it looks like we have a nice big last waddle, which we can spend a little bit more time on. No more time. Sorry, Rach, you enabled me and said one more question, so I'm throwing time out of the window. And even though, it's so blurry, that sea mist, there we go, you can start to see their little shiny bellies starting to waddle on up the beach. So yeah, fantastic news for little penguins and other native animals here on Phillip Island, because one fox could kill up to about 40 penguins in one single night. And there were multiple foxes living at the penguin parade and on Phillip Island at once. So it's a huge testament to what we can do when we put all our resources together, and we've got a wonderful dedicated team of rangers who want to help protect little penguins, and I'm going to just start listing animals for the fun of it. Swamp hens, lizards, possums. What are some other small animals that a fox might want to get, Rach? I'm coming up blank.
I don't know. Curlew, was it?
Oh yeah, bushstone curlew, which unfortunately did become extinct here on Phillip Island with European settlement and the introduction of cats, dogs and foxes. But because we're fox free and because of the eastern bar bandicoots, because they've done so well here on Phillip Island, we're getting ready to introduce a small population of the bushstone curlew back onto Phillip Island. So it's another great conservation success story, and hopefully in the coming years, if you come and visit us here on Phillip Island, you'll be able to see a bushstone curlew and an eastern bar bandicoot out in the wild, and you'll know that if you come and visit us here at the Penguin Parade, Koala Conservation Reserve, Churchill Island Heritage Farm or the Nobbies, you're helping us directly with the conservation education and research work that we do, protecting these beautiful animals that call Phillip Island their home. Alrighty, so it's been 11 minutes since Rach told me there was 5 minutes to go, and she just gave me another one of these. So I feel like I can't ignore her too much because I love Rach and value her as a person. So I better start getting ready to clock off for the night. Oh, I changed my mind. I want to go and have a look at these penguins just over here. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for tuning into Live Penguin TV tonight. I hope you've had a blast and learned a little bit about these beautiful little penguins that we have here on Phillip Island. Remember, we are running this live stream on Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays. So if we didn't get to your question tonight, remember to tune in on Saturday, and hopefully the rangers then will let you know how many penguins crossed the beach on tonight, Wednesday the 29th of September, if you're desperate to know. One thing that I also just want to mention before we sign off is that if you stop laughing at me, Rach, this is important. If you can't visit us here on Phillip Island because you're in metropolitan Melbourne or you're interstate or into overseas and you want to help us with the conservation work that we do, you can donate to the Penguin Foundation, and the link is in the description of this video on either Facebook or YouTube. And if you've got a little bit of money to spare, we will be forever grateful to your generosity if you decided to either adopt a penguin or donate some money to help fund our wildlife clinic and some other research projects that we do, which help us understand penguins and how we can help protect them a little bit better as well. Now, I think that is all I had to say. Rach, the only other thing that is left for us to do is say goodbye in the language of the penguin. And if you were listening or if you were with us for this whole entire live stream, you probably heard us talking a little about the penguin huck, and so that is how we are going to say goodbye to each and every one of you at home tonight. So thanks again so much for watching. Rach, come on in. Stop laughing at me. I know it's getting close to the 15-minute mark. What did I tell you? Was there anything else that I missed out that you can think of?
Oh, good.
No, good. I think we are good to go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Remember, Saturday night for some more penguiny fun. And happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.